You say, listen, we want to hear all perspectives, and you're basically saying that stop all military action before it gets worse. So let me turn the question this way. What do you think would happen if the U.S. did not do anything?
Well, we're never, at Friends Committee on National Legislation, in my piece in the Daily Beast with Dr. Jeffrey Sachs, we're not suggesting that the U.S. does nothing. We're suggesting that military strikes are only aiding recruitment, extremist recruitment for ISIS. Numbers have tripled since we started airstriking ISIS. We think the arming of rebels, be it in Syria, in Pakistan, in Libya, is problematic because it usually backfires. Those very rebels use it against us. We are saying Congress must be involved in any kind of oversight role, whether Senator Menendez, the authorization use of military force, whether it's a new one or the 2001 one. Congress has to be involved. But in terms of a proactive role the U.S. can take, we can and should make sure that Sunni moderates who have been recruited by ISIS are politically and economically integrated into the Baghdad government. They haven't been historically. We're culpable for that, as is Maliki's government. But in terms of resource sharing, power sharing, we can do a lot more to make sure Sunnis included. And then lastly, regional governments have to be involved. The fact that Senator Menendez, Secretary Kerry have not invited Iran to the table is problematic. Obviously, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Qatar, Kuwait, UAE are at the table, but Iran has to be there as well.
But I understand the perspective you're coming from, and I know what you've written, but my question was, what if the U.S. didn't do anything? Do you think some of these more hesitant Arab nations, more Sunni governments, would be more willing and able to step forward and fight the fight?
We're already arming a lot of these governments, certainly arms sales to Saudi Arabia and Qatar, so they're already doing it somewhat at our bidding. But RAND Corporation a couple years ago put out a study looking at almost 300 terrorist groups, how they ended. Seth Jones helped author that report. What they found from 1970 to the early 2000s is that 83% of all terrorist groups ended through some kind of political process, negotiations, intel, policing. Only 7% ended by military force. So we're very doubtful that further military strikes, we've already done several hundred, we're going to increase them, will be effective other than to aid recruitment on the ground for ISIS.